How are things at the academy, Damien?
Okay, Mr. Good?
And Sergeant Knapp?
Do you know him?
Oh, I've asked about him. Just keeping an eye on you, Damien. By the way, do you know exactly what I do for Thorne Industries?
Not really, sir.
You should. You should know everything about the Thorne business. After all, it'll be yours one day.
And Mark's.
And Mark's, of course. Say, why don't you, pay a visit to the plant soon?
Could I bring some friends to the academy?
Of course.
May I have your attention? Listen, everyone. Before Mark opens his presents, I have a surprise for you. So I want you to all follow me. All right. I love this. Boy, when you see what surprise. There you go. What are we doing?
A boy's 13th birthday is considered by many as the beginning of puberty, of manhood. Many cultures have initiation rites. You'll be initiated too, Damien. Yes. The time is coming for you to put aside childish things and face up to who you are. A great moment, Damien. Surely you must be feeling it.
I think so. I'm not sure. But I feel that something's happening to me. It's going to happen.
Suspicions of destiny. We all have them. Your uncle has, I'm sure. And Bill Atherton. And myself. A deep, wordless knowledge that our time has come.
Hey, Damien, come on, we got fireworks!
All right, Shalom. Kahalo Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace salutations unto the hopeful elect. I am Yahweh, simply Yahweh, and this segment will be entitled Suspicions of Destiny. And basically, I came up with that idea off a quote of a scene from an old movie called Omen 2, as I just showed a clip of it, where young Damien at a birthday party is confronted by one of his protectors, letting him know about his destiny and what awaited him. You see, and his destiny, he would find out later on in the movie that he was the so-called Antichrist. His destiny was to be evil. All right. And so he even replied unto unto the older guy that was one of his protectors, that he felt that something was going to happen to him, or was happening to him, and is going to happen. All right. And the curly haired a white man next to him, he said, yeah, suspicions of destiny, we all have them. All right, so that's the whole point I wanted to make, and I thought it would make Lord willing an interesting and hopefully edifying segment for tonight's hopefully edifying sit down. All right, and so basically overall, um, every living person, we all have our own suspicions of destiny that the Most High provides through dreams or visions. All right, um, and basically, that's how he's always handled people in this life. All right, by way of instructing, sealing in them their instructions while they're asleep and so on. All right, but the bottom line is that you know this the Salakia. The bottom line is that our enemies, beginning with the elite banking families, they certainly have their own suspicions of destiny. They know that they're going down. All right, they know that they're going down. All right, and this is why they incorporate their thoughts and concerns and they're making me cough now, but Lord willing, I'll make it through. They incorporate their concerns and stuff in these movies, like the clip that I showed you. It's alien invasion movies, all right, like Independence Day, all right, War of the Worlds. Okay, there was recently uh, another brand new remake of War of the Worlds with of all the actors, of all the people in the world, Ice Cube, all right, and but the bottom line is that why they keep making these reboots, why they remake these movies, all right, they keep remaking them over and over and over, all right, and they keep pushing out more and more movies about catastrophic destruction, about alien invasions, and so on. All right, it doesn't matter if those movies get to be any a blockbuster. All right, if they get to be hit money makers or not, if they get to be cheaply made, like Ice Cube's version of War of the Worlds, right? Which hardly anybody's bothering to see that. But they push these movies out anyway for a reason. All right, they push them out there because as this segment is entitled, suspicions of destiny. They have their suspicions of destiny that they as a people, the so-called white race, are going down. Their empire, so-called America, known in the Bible as Babylon the Great, all right, is going down. All right, that they know that Jacob, all right, the real children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, especially those of the elect, all right, especially Lord willing of the 144,000, those are the ones whom the Lord has already predestined to get beamed up into those a so-called alien craft, spaceship when they arrive on the planet Earth, all right, and get delivered of this destruction that's coming. While literally half of humanity, all right, will get burned up and destroyed by this nuclear fire that's coming off of World War III and the missiles that are gonna get shot, man. All right, so that's the whole point I'm trying to bring. All right, Esau has his suspicions of destiny of his going down. All right, and it tells you that in Revelation 12:12. All right, for the devil cometh unto you having great wrath, for he knoweth that he hath but a short time. For he knoweth that he hath but a short time. That's the key. That's the key verse right there. All right. For he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right. And many people have also had dreams and visions of this society's downfall. Okay, I myself have had a few visions and dreams, so some apocalyptic visions myself, all right, about seeing darkness, about seeing the buildings being set on fire and so on, man. Okay, so the Most High ain't playing. He ain't playing when it comes to these biblical prophecies, man. Okay, the Lord ain't playing. He means business, man. All right. For those of you that you take these videos as entertainment, all right, and many brothers, beginning with the elders themselves, they would tell you that this ain't entertainment. All right, that all these videos, all right, done by the elders, certain brothers, all right, uh, myself included, all right, are really warning videos, okay, issued to the majority of you people out there, whether you care to listen or not. These are warning signs, warnings that if you don't take heed to this truth, if you don't take heed to these scriptures, then you're going to end up dying out here, man. Simple as that. You're going to be destroyed. All right? You're going to get caught up in this mass destruction that's coming. And that ain't no laughing matter, man. Okay? Straight up. That ain't no laughing matter. All right? Okay? So, without further ado, all right, I'm going to start with the scriptures. All right? I'm going to start with Wisdom of Solomon. Okay? To, that will go hand in hand, Lord willing, with this subject. Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. All right? And basically, I'm going to use the screenshot for that. All right? So hold on. All right, so here we are in the good old screenshot. All right, you see Wisdom of Solomon on the screen, chapter 2. I'm going to start reading from verse 1. All right, for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not are right. Salakia. All right, I'm going to start again. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. All right, so this should be called the Esau scripture. All right, Esau. All right, that's the so-called white man's true race, true nationality, and his true skin color is red, not white. All right, that this is how many of them think on a carnal level. All right, they don't believe in life beyond death and all that. All right, just to give you a head start and try to open more your head on that. All right. This is their way of thinking. All right. This whole scripture is really referring to them. Who are the ungodly? All right. Those who are proudly and tyrannically running the whole planet Earth right now. All right. The so-called white race. Okay. Beginning with the elite banking family, Rothschild, Rockefeller, and company. This is them. All right. Okay, I'm going to keep reading on. Verse 2. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath of our nostrils is as smoke, and the little spark in the moving of our heart, which being extinguished, our bodies shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist. All right? Now, once again, who is that talking about? All right? The ungodly are reasoning with themselves. Who are the ungodly that reason with themselves? All right? Did not I just mention the elite banking families? All right? They are the ones who are running the whole earth right now. They run the whole show. They are the ones that pre-select all your world leaders, your so-called presidents in the White House. They are the ones who set all these world events to happen. All right, and they want to try and bring in a so-called new world order. This is them in the flesh, man. This is talking about them. They know that they have but a short time. All right, they know that they have but a short time. I just read you. I mentioned briefly Revelation 12 and 12 a while earlier. All right. For the devil cometh unto you having great wrath, for he knoweth to have a short time. All right. And since I came across this verse right here, there is another scripture, if I'm not mistaken, in Job. All right. I have to memorize better the chapter, but in the book of Job, all right, the Lord details how he's going to do away with this man. All right, he shall perish. All right, he shall go from light into the darkness. All right, and shall perish as his own done, as his own shit, so you can understand. All right, so that scripture right there. Too bad I can't bring it up right now, but it could serve as a precept to what I'm reading here. All right. So once again, I'm going to read verse 4, and our name shall be forgotten in time. All right. The book of Job also mentions, all right, that you know that he's going to perish, man. All right. He's going to have no name in the street. All right. Okay. What? Hey, once the Lord returns in the midst of World War III, Armageddon, and this society is done away with, that's it. All right. Ain't gonna be no more places honoring nor in remembrance of this man. All right. No more John F. Kennedy for a Center for the Arts. All right. No more JFK Airport. No more George Washington Bridge. All right. No more Lincoln Memorial. All right. Okay. Most of these cities in America are named and honored after his likeness. Okay. The city of Dallas and out there out there in Texas, right? Well, who do you think that's named after? All right, right now I don't remember his name, but his last name was Dallas. Okay, so that whole city was named after his honor. Okay, so there ain't gonna be no more places named after him. So you can understand that's what this scripture is talking about. Okay, and our name shall be forgotten in time. All right, and no man shall have our works and remember that no more remembrance of this man's rulership. No more remembrance of how good or bad President John F. Kennedy was 60 years ago, or how good or bad President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was 80 years ago during World War II. All right? No more remembrance of just how good or bad or worse now President Trump is in that White House, man. He getting ready to bring all kind of chaos. So there ain't gonna be no remembrance of any of this man's works no more, of any so-called president, okay, of any more of Esau Edom's world leaders, no more of that bullshit. All right? Okay, that's what that's talking about. And in the scripture, they know about it. That's their destiny. All right? Why you think I chose to name this segment Suspicions of Destiny? Well, it's being manifested in this very scripture right here. It was not just quoted in the damn movie. All right? All right. Reading on. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. All right. Verse 5. For our time is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. All right. Come on, therefore. All right. Hey, this is you're gonna see for yourselves. For those of you that might be watching that have a spiritual eye. This is the Esau scripture, man. This is the well-to-do white man scripture. All right. I'm gonna read verse 6. All right. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present. Now, who could boast saying that? What so-called race or nationality on the planet Earth could really boast saying that? All right? Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, the good things now in this present day time before the destruction cometh, before that judgment from on high cometh. That's what that's talking about. All right, it's talking that's the elite banking family saying to their very selves, well, if we're going to be destroyed, let us enjoy life to the fullest. Let us get the best in life. All right, let us get the best land, the best mansions, the best way of life, and let's give the Negroes who are destined to rule after us all the hell, all the worst hell they could get. Let us give them all the worst foods they could get. Let us try and destroy their very lives all that we can. Let us poison their water and food all that we can. All right? That's the whole bottom line of this scripture, man. All right? Okay? So, once again, come on, therefore, let us enjoy all the good things that are present. All right? And let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Verse 7. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they are withered. Okay? Let us crown themselves. Let us crown ourselves. Okay? That they have crowned themselves as the so-called kings and queens of Europe. Okay? That they have made themselves governors and rulers. All right? Okay? Verse 9. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Okay? Verse 10. Verse 10 now. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us Let us not spare the widow, no reference the ancient gray hairs of the age. Now what? Now, Salakia, what did I just make reference of uh, a minute or two ago? All right, I made reference of how Esau, all right, the ruling race, the elite banking families, right? They're the ones that running. They run the show now. They run and operate this counterfeit kingdom known as America, right? Right? All right. Did not I make mention of how they're trying to kill us all right, with the food and water that they distribute to us? Did not I mention that? All right, well, right here, for verse 10, let us oppress the poor righteous man. That's one of the that's part of that oppression, man. Them trying to destroy us all, them trying to kill us all, them trying to kill you all, them trying to destroy you all. That they want your face off this earth, man. Okay? They want you black faces off this earth. But that is really one hell of an impossible task for them to do. All right? For the earth was really meant to be ruled it was really meant to be ruled by these so-called black faces, man. All right? Plain and simple. The Lord, who's the so-called black man, Negro, created man in his own image. All right? Off the soil of the planet Earth, so you can understand. All right? And what's the color of soil? What's the color of the ground? All right? And it's jet black looking, right? Well, that's how the first man came out. All right? That's how the first man, that's how the Lord created Adam, man. Off the dust of the ground. All right? Off the dust of the ground. Okay? Esau came to have his so-called whiteness. Okay? He came to have his so-called superior white skin. Okay? Because that's really a curse according to the Bible. Having that white skin is really a curse. So he came to acquire that, all right, as it's told in Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red all over, all right, hairy. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau, all right, Ishashua in the Hebrew language. Wasted away is he. No pigment, no skin pigmentation. Albino looking, so you can understand. All right? So hey, that's your so-called white race, your so-called white man for you. All right? So this is why they say here, let us oppress the poor righteous Negro. So you can understand. That's really talking about you Negroes that might be watching. Let us oppress let us oppress the poor righteous Negro. Let us not spare the widow, no reference to ancient gray hairs of the aged. Okay? Let our strength be the law of justice. All right? For that which is feeble is found to be salakia, nothing worth. All right? So there you go. I'm going to keep reading on. All right. I just needed to sip me some water there. Verse 12. Therefore, let us light and wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. All right. He upbraided us with our offending the law. and objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. So there you go. All right. Basically, what is being said here is that they prefer to do wickedness. They take no pleasure in doing right. Jacob, on the other hand, the so-called Negro race, was meant to be the righteous race, was meant to be the ones to keep the law. All right, the law of the supreme being, to go by his ways. All right, the so-called white race refuses that. That's the overall same of this scripture. That's the whole bottom line here. All right, okay, and the so-called Negro Jacob is about truth. Esau is all about lies. Okay, he is the father of lies. He is a forger of lies. Okay. Verse 13, he professeth to have the knowledge of Yahweh, of the Most High, and calleth himself the child of the Lord. So, all right, so Esau knows the so-called white race, especially those of the elite, they know who the so-called colored race is. They know who the so-called Negroes are. That they are the children of the supreme being, and that many acknowledge, whether they have this truth or not, that they belong to so-called God. All right, that they belong to the so-called they belong to the Most High. Period. All right. Verse 14. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. For his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. All right? He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed. He maketh his boast that God is his father. All right, there you go. That's Esau complaining of Jacob boasting of so-called God the Most High being his father. Plain and simple. All right? Okay? Verse 17. Let us see if his words are true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. All right? That's, you see? Verse 18. For if the just man be the son of God, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. Okay? Hey, there you go. All right? There you go. All right? The Most High will deliver his elect from the hand of their enemies in these last days. It's not just mentioned in this scripture, it's all over. All right? It's all over. All right? Plain and simple, man. All right? All right, so I'm going to keep reading on. I got a few more verses here. All right. Verse 19 goes on to say, let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Okay, a shameful death. Many of our people have been put to death shamefully. All right. Many so-called Negroes, Latinos throughout the years have already been tortured and shot to death. All right, or even choked. What happened a few years ago with that very infamous happening with this so-called black man that he said I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Yeah, his name is escaping me right now, but that happened in 2020. All right, and that caused a lot of uproar. So that's why it's being said here. You know what I'm saying? Let us condemn him with a shameful death. Okay, and they're gonna keep executing that. They won't stop until the Lord cracks them clouds open. All right, they're not gonna stop. All right, until the Lord gets back. All right. So verse 21 goes on to say, such things such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. As for the mysteries of Yahweh, of the Most High, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor descend a reward for blameless souls. For the Most High created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Now, I made a short reference of that a while earlier. How the Most High created a man in his own image. All right. Verse 24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death unto the world, and that they, and Salakia. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. So there you go. All right. Okay. Now, I mentioned the book of Job as precept a little while ago. Let's see if I may find that now. All right. Just bear with me a moment. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. This is the scripture right here. Job 18. All right. And I was reading Job 18. All right. I was just reading Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. All right. Where how the ungodly were saying that their memories shall perish. All right. And that they will no longer be remembered. All right. Well, this could serve as a precept right here. All right. Okay. So this is Job 18 and 17. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and shall have no name in the street. Verse 18, he shall be driven from light into darkness, and chased out of the world. Verse 19, he shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. All right, so there you go. Okay, that's the whole point I wanted to make. He shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. All right, he shall have no more name in the street. All right, so that's the whole point I wanted to make with these three verses. Now, Salakia. Isaiah 34 real quick. All right. That's Isaiah 34. All right. Bear with me a moment. Isaiah 34. I might read one or a few verses off of that. All right. Okay. So bear with me a moment. All right. Isaiah 34 and 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. Now who's Idumea? Esau, Edom. Esau, Edom, so-called America is literally Esau, Edom. Who runs America? Esau, Edom. Okay, so that's who the sword of the Lord shall come down upon. All right. Verse 6, the sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Once again, that's talking about so-called America, Babylon the Great. All right. Verse 7, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. Now, what is the controversy of Zion? How basically Jake, the so-called Negroes were treated here, how they were brought into this land, all right, on them slave ships, okay, how they were brought here tied up as like sardines in a small tin can, right? Okay, tied up in chains, facing each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to describe here how the first crop of slaves came here under the worst unimaginable conditions. All right, how they were brought forth here, sold into auction blocks like cattle, treated like cattle or worse than cattle. All right, humiliated and give us all kind of names and names and bywords and proverbs. Nigger this, nigger that, spick this, spick that. All right, that's what that means for the controversy of Zion. All right. All right. The book of Obadiah now. Now, Lord willing, I'm going to finish with that. All right. Let's look up Obadiah. Okay. Because this whole scripture is dealing, not just the whole scripture, this whole sit down, Lord willing, I try to devote Esau, Edom, man. Okay. the so-called white race that's proudly ruling right now. Okay? So Obadiah, all right. I'm not going to read the whole thing, all right. Salakia. I'm looking for a few. All right. Bear with me a moment. Okay, I'm going to read from verse 3 on down, all right? Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? All right? Now, what other nation on the planet Earth can boast saying that? Who shall bring me down to the ground? Who is this imbecile that can bring me down? Where and who is he? All right. Okay. It reminds me. It reminds me of a scene from Superman 2. All right, where General Zod. Okay. And the actor the white actor that played General Zod, he passed away recently. But there's this scene, right, where the free supervillains enter the White House, all right, and Zod, Zod confronts Zod tells the president to bow down before him, all right, okay, kneel before Zod, okay, and the president tells Zod, you know, I will kneel down before you, but there's one man here on earth who will never bow down before you. And General Zod, he goes on to say, who is this imbecile? Where is he? All right. So that's the whole point I'm trying to bring. That's Esau's overall mentality. All right. And the real life superhero is Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, and he's gonna make real life superheroes out of his elect men in these last days, man. All right, to confront these bunch of tyrannical and evil, twisted-minded, real life Lex Luthors out there, man. Okay, real life Lex Luthors and real life evil jokers. All right, plain and simple, man. All right, so that's his overall mentality. Who shall bring me down to the ground? Okay, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Thence I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. Now, America's emblem, the very presidential seal, who's the bird? Who's the bird displayed on that seal? The bald eagle. Who's the national bird? The bald eagle. All right. So that's clearly talking about this present day society and how the Lord is going to bring it down real soon. All right. But bring down this man's pride right along with it. Okay. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease in the book of Isaiah. All right. Okay. So that's the whole point I wanted to bring here. Shalom.